Ron, Mike went to the zoo yesterday.
I know, and I missed him, and I feel like a real schmuck because I missed him. I was doing interviews, and then he came, and when I got back, it was out in park. I'm just a schmuck.
That was one of your bigger days, right? Because it was packed, dude.
Gorgeous day.
I've never seen the zoo that packed.
Great zoo day.
Well, what happened was it rained on Sunday. So Sunday, everybody planning to go out Sunday, had the holiday yesterday, doubled up.
Have you noticed a lot of people wear Ron Magill T-shirts to the zoo? I saw 3 different people wearing a Ron Magill World of Suey shirt.
I have seen them. I have not seen a lot of them, but I have seen them. The last thing I saw that was pretty incredible, the Rhinoceros thing, was I need to get a print of that. I need to get a signed print of that for my office.
You underestimate your popularity with our audience. We've been doing this a long time, and I mean, in Q rating, likability factor, I don't know that we've had a guest that people like more, period, around us than just universally, right? It's not polarizing. It's like some people might love Greg Cody more, but beloved, we don't have someone more beloved than you around here. I don't think. You or Kirkshin, maybe.
That's very kind of you, Dan. I think they just love animals. That has nothing to do with me.
Oh, stop. You're being humble. Ron, what are the the busiest days at the zoo? Like, are they holiday, like weekdays that are holidays kind of thing?
Holidays and our big weekends are the Easter weekend and the Halloween weekend. Those are the biggest weekends at the zoo, where we get, 30,000 people out here in a weekend.
You said you were doing interviews. What were you doing interviews about?
Doing interviews about iguanas falling out of trees with the cold weather coming in, doing interviews about the bald eagle cam and the eagle chicks and how they're developing and how they've gotten this now worldwide audience that's kind of gone viral, which has been great. Just did a Weather Channel interview with them this morning, as a matter of fact, national.
I want to talk to you about both of those things because I think we've told the story before here. Pat Riley, accidentally, not knowing the area, found in his backyard a bunch of frozen iguanas who had frozen stiff to ward off the cold, and he buried them thinking they were dead and that he was doing a nice thing, and instead he killed them.
Murderer, Pat Riley.
What a visual that is of Pat Riley in his backyard with a shovel.
But a lot of people do that, I imagine.
Yeah, I think I've told the story before. When it first started happening, I remember I was working on Key Biscayne, and this guy is, from Central America, where iguana is a delicacy. I mean, they farm them out there like food. And this guy was getting these huge iguanas that were falling out of trees and stuff all along Crandon Boulevard. He's throwing them in the back of his old paneled station wagon. And as he's paneled the station wagon, he's got the heat on inside. They started to come to life, and he wrecked his car. I mean, they started to come to life and running all over the car, and he ran his car into a freaking coconut tree in Crandon Boulevard, freaking out because all of these zombie iguanas came to life.
The best move to do with the shovel is when you get it into the ground, just the tip of it, and then you step down that step, and it goes all the way in. You guys love that.
Chris.
It's satisfying.
Chris.
You love that, Ron.
Chris.
Ron, have you tried iguana? Have you tried it?
I have. I've eaten it in Panama, as a matter of fact, on a farm there. And it's actually pretty good. I'm not going to say it tastes like chicken.
Oh, come on.
It tastes like whatever seasoning they put on it. They season it pretty well.
Ooh.
I was really disappointed. Moreover, my daughter was extremely disdisappointed that the tortoises were not out yesterday because it was.
Well, because it's cold.
It's
cold.
It's air quotes Miami cold. By the time we went around to that exhibit,
74.
it was about 74, and I
Yeah.
was regretting
Right.
my wardrobe decision.
But the problem is,
hate
Mike,
that.
those things weigh up to over 500 pounds a piece. We have to herd them into that shelter, and then as you saw, we have to keep them locked in there with the boards because they are not the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. And what happens is they'll walk out again, and then it gets so cold they start slowing down, and they can't get back to the heat, and they'll stay stuck out there. And we cannot hurt. I mean, we literally have to use like forklifts to move them. So we keep them in there because we knew last night was going to be cold again too. We said, listen, you're just staying in for the day because you're too not smart enough to go back in on your own.
Is it that, or is it you guys just didn't want to move those turtles a couple of times? That's what I'm hearing.
It's stressful to move them, Billy. We don't want to stress them.
Yeah, for you guys, it sounds like a lot of work. Just put a sweater
It's
on
stressful
them.
for them too, okay? They're not used to being picked up.
Too not smart is the most damning insult I have ever heard. Ron Magill. Ron Magill is frustrated with these damn old heavy things. These tortoises. You've never said that. I've never heard you come that close to calling an animal dumb. You yell at me every time I say that the bald eagle is dumb, and then the owl is dumb. There are all sorts of dumb animals out there.
Just not very intelligent. There's a
the
difference.
The owl
it's just
is a
not very
dumbass.
intelligent.
You have buyer's remorse on the turtles because you're like, I mean, these things live like 200 years. This seemed like a good idea 60
We
years
have
ago, but
one
now
here
what do
that's-
we do?
The one that we have here, Goliath, is estimated to be 130 years old.
And when you got it, you were like, this is, this will be cute. People come see it for 20, 30 years. And now you're like, what the hell do I do with this turtle?
That's why you don't work at the zoo, Billy.
Ron, come on.
No, Billy.
Just between us, there's been animals that you've been like, it's time.
Enough already.
It's time.
Yeah, we get it.
Billy,
Occupying space.
Billy, come on. What? Ron doesn't.
People do that with their pets, Dan.
No,
You
but
think pets don't actually go to, wherever the farm or wherever it is. Sometimes people just get tired of the pets, and then the pet goes.
I believe unless an animal is in pain, there is no circumstance under which Ron would want it dead.
No, no. I'm not going to want an animal dead unless, like Dan says, it's in profound suffering without any sign of relief, any possibility of relief. I do not wish that. And I've been bitten, I've been kicked, I've been hurt by animals that I've helped raise that have hurt me, but it's always been my fault. I realize that.
What's the plan with Dan LeBatard?
LeBatard is doing well. He's big now. I mean, he's picked up some tonnage.
Hey,
he's you got to come out and see him.
Jeez.
No, I'm serious. He looks really good.
I know.
But his plan is for the girlfriend. I think it's in Virginia. He's got an arranged marriage, so to speak, in Virginia. So I think as soon as temperatures settle down a little bit, they're talking about that. That was what the stud bookkeeper said, that Dan's got to go up there and do the wild hippo with, I don't know what her name is.
You're saying that Dan LeBatard has a young partner?
Yes. I don't know if she's younger or older than he is.
I mean, if I know Dan LeBatard the way that I do, it's much younger.
Can we stream it like younger? Can we stream it like we did with the Eagles?
Hippo porn?
People would want to watch this.
Call it hip porn.
Hippo sex is really good. It's really fun.
Oh, really? Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, I believe that's my
dude.
yeah.
What animal
You just got in there as a
dance?
proud hippo real quick there, Chris. When I believe you've never been so proud to a hippo. What are you doing?
I need top 3 sexual experiences and bottom 3 for Ron Magill in the animal kingdom.
What?
Well, the top 3, I got to tell you something. You got to look at something like the rhino, which will mount the female, but there is no pelvic thrusting. In the pachyderms, like the lions, the hippos, the elephants, there's no pelvic thrusting. So it's like, well, we're on a podcast. I can say this. The vagina of the female, it's got like a bunch of like little elves in it. So when the penis is inserted, it's the walls kind of like they're stroking that thing where the animal doesn't have to do any pelvic thrusting. So the vaginal walls are doing the stroking. And with a rhino, the rhino will mount the female sometimes for an hour at a time, and he'll be ejaculating like every 2 to 5 minutes. And it's fantastic because he'll sit up there and people will ask me, they go, Ron, how do you know he's ejaculating? Well, look, what he'll do, he'll be on top of this female, and basically she's carrying his entire weight. And then all of a sudden he does this like shuddering, shaking type thing, and this white fluid comes out the rear end, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on there. So that's what's happening every 5 minutes. And the sad thing is, guys, that is actually resulted in the persecution of rhinos, because as some of you may know, rhinos are killed for their horns because their horns are believed to be an aphrodisiac. First of all, they're not even horns. They're just like fingernail material that grows on the top of the skull. It is not an aphrodisiac, but a lot of these folks look at that and say, if I have that horn, maybe I can get on top of my wife and I can have an ejaculation every 2 to 5 minutes for an hour. It's not going to happen, but that's unfortunately the demise of the rhino.
What an amazing
Is that a challenge?
amount of terrain you just covered there.
A whole hour?
With strong information that we did not have. Number 2, greatest sexual experience.
Do humans go home with the horn?
Exactly. Yeah.
Other animals want the horn? I'm confused.
Horny humans, that humans treat it as an aphrodisiac. What are you not understanding? That the horn.
I'm struggling. If I walk into my bedroom with a big horn, like my wife's gonna be like,
you're
hell
taking
yeah.
it as a pill, Chris. You're not putting it on your forehead.
I like my way better.
Listening to anything that I'm saying, it does not work. These animals are persecuted for myths, for misconceptions. Okay. Number 2, I guess if you're going to go with frequency, guys, it's going to be the Shaw's Jird. It's spelled J-I-R-D.
But I don't think he's looking for frequency, though. I think that he was asking you.
Who do you like watching?
Just impressive.
The voyeur in you. Who do you say, wow, that is a magnificent sexual experience that those two animals are having?
I mean, the elephant is pretty incredible because it does have, and all right, I know where you guys are going to go with this, but I'm just speaking from a scientific point of view, okay? It does have the largest penis of any land animal. Now, what happens is because the elephant's such a massive, bulky animal, it's all he has to mount the female. You see, he mounts the female and he only has about 30 seconds on top of the female. He knows this because the males are so much larger than the females. And after about 30 seconds, she'll collapse. So he doesn't do any pelvic thrusting. And what he does is he mounts the female. If you looked at the penis of the elephant, it's like the best way to describe it is you take a fire hose, put it on a fire hydrant, open the hydrant and let it go. And the hose is just like, fwah, 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 fwah. And that thing is just searching around, you see? And it searches around like a little periscope. And when it finds the female, it gets inside the female. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, and he reaches what he's looking for, okay? But it's incredible to watch this penis like it has a mind of its own. The elephant's totally still. He's totally tense. You can look at his face. He's like going, 30, 29, 28, 27, because he's counting down. He knows he's got 30 seconds before she collapses. He's got to find that promised land before she collapses. And when he does, I mean, I've taken photographs where you will see a smile on the elephant. I'm not joking, guys. I'm not making this up.
Of course.
He is smiling when he finds what he's looking for.
It's a lot of pressure, though, Ron.
But the amount of ejaculate is overwhelming. It's like a bucket. It's like unbelievable.
Hell yeah.
This is an amazing segment that has one more amazing sexual experience in it. I want Ron Magill at a Moss event to unretire Sex and the Animals, because he does this scientifically for 50 minutes and people are riveted.
That'd be tricky, though,
you know
knowing
what?
you only have...
I will do... You know what, Dan? I have retired that thing for several years, but I will bring it out for a Moss event.
All right. Well, that's an exciting development.
We did
there.
it on a mystery crate once, and it was
mean,
widely listened to.
It's exceptional. The number one, I don't know if you're ranking these in order, but the number one sexual experience in the animal kingdom, according to Ron Magill.
Okay. And this is going to sound kind of boring initially, but when you got to think about it. Pigs. I always wondered where the term screwing comes from, because I've always kind of looked at myself more like a nailer. Okay, it's kind of boom, 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 nailing. Okay, like you hit a nail. I said, because I don't really do the screwing type thing. But when you look at the penis of pigs, it is exactly like a corkscrew. It comes out, it looks like a corkscrew, and he'll get on top of the female, and he is... Please don't take this offensively. I'm just trying to tell you where this term comes from.
Science. This is the science of
This is the science.
Animal
It
sex.
is a corkscrew, and he literally is screwing that female. It goes,
Ron.
woo, 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 and it
It
screws into
can't
the female.
sound like that.
Well, it doesn't. No, it doesn't make it
doesn't
sound like that.
that.
It's not
That'd be
about-
great
What
if it
does
did,
it sound
though.
like? What does it
In
sound like?
his imagination, when it's going well, the pig thinks it sounds like that, but it does not sound like
But then
that.
what's amazing is, I talked about the volume from the elephant, but in relative to its size, the pig produces the largest amount of ejaculate per ejaculation. An average boar will produce a pint of ejaculate and an ejaculation.
That is
So, I
the
mean-
podcast description on a pint of ejaculate is the podcast description.
Guys, I'm just trying to give you some information,
It
some
is.
education. I know
We
sometimes
appreciate it.
people-
Yeah.
we're tiptoeing on a fine line here, but I'm not using any profanity. I'm saying exactly what it is. Nature's fascinating. Listen, if you come to the zoo on any given day and everybody's in front of one exhibit and they're looking at the animals doing something I'll tell you what they're doing. They're screwing. Okay, because people are fascinated by that. Because you know what, sex is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. We don't want to get caught up in some adult bookstore because we'll get stereotyped and labeled, right? But if you can see something really interesting at a family institution like a zoo, you're going to watch because nobody's going to label you there.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Men, do you think of yourself as a nailer?
Now this might be a dumb question. The pig, does the penis screw
an
on
odd
itself,
detail.
or does the pig have to spin?
No, it kind of screws by itself because as he pushes it, it just kind of woo, 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 it gets in
Again
there.
with the
You
noise.
mentioned
All right,
that,
all
and
right,
it's
we
not
got
what
it.
it does, but he's asking. Yes, Chris has it.
Perfect.
Chris Cody has the pig doing like somersaults to contort itself so
No,
that
no,
an
no, it doesn't do that.
otherwise straight penis then screws.
It doesn't do that. Listen, I got photographs of this. I photographed the whole process.
Text
So
them
we'll
to
show
me.
it at a future Moss event.
Okay, excellent. This is great. Animal porn at the next Moss event. We all have that to look forward to. How about the answer to his other question?
Who's the worst?
The three worst in the animal kingdom, or the three most pathetic Lotharios?
Well, again, I'm going to go with that Shaw's Jird, the JIRD, because though it has the record for frequency, it'll breed a female like once every 15 seconds for an hour. Okay. But in that 15 seconds, about 12 seconds is recovery time. It's one of those things where if you blink, you've missed it. Okay. Now, some of you guys may be saying, welcome to my hell, but this is something that is common in the Shaw's juror. It's just so fast. It's like, what the hell was that? You can see the female's face. She does the same thing. She turns around, what the hell was that?
The second most pathetic Lothario?
Geez, I don't know if anything's really pathetic. I think that
Bad
Humans.
Bad,
Well, yeah.
unpleasant. Humans?
Yeah, humans can be pretty pathetic. I mean, let's be honest, that can be pretty pathetic.
Aren't there like painful sexual experiences in the animal
Go
Oh
kingdom?
yes,
on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All cats. Cats are the biggest, probably the greatest, poster child for painful sex because cat penises have thorns on them. They have spines like spikes on them. So when it's fully erect, those spikes point backwards like a cactus, you see? So when he inserts it in the female, it slides in perfectly. However, if he tries to withdraw it while it's still erect, those fleshy spines, they rake the sides of the vaginal walls of the cat. Have you ever heard domestic cats breeding? It sounds like this. It starts with like, oh, oh, oh. And then all of a sudden you hear, meow. That's when he withdraws and he rakes the vaginal walls and she's kind of going, ouch, that hurts. But this is what's really important to understand. That raking of the vaginal walls is what starts ovulation in the female. So as he's doing that, he'll screw up like 3 or 4 times. She'll turn around and beat the heck out of him as he withdraws and he scratches her vaginal walls. But then he realizes, okay, I can't move because she keeps beating me up every time I do this. Because they'll breed every 20 minutes, sometimes for 2 or 3 days. Then he stays there put. And what that does, you see, that's nature saying, okay, now you've got her ovulating because you scratched those vaginal walls several times. Now you got to stay still. So as much semen reaches her ovaries as possible so that she becomes, in fact, inseminated.
Mike,
It's really neat the way nature works.
what are we going to do, Mike? A lot of parents like to listen to this segment
Oh, no.
with
See, now
their kids.
you guys
No.
have asked me these
I
questions.
know, no, hold on. Just hold on. We need to put a warning on this hour. Ron Magill works so blue. Children, be careful. Like, we need to, a lot
I don't
of
think
kids.
this is blue though. I think this
Well,
is
but
scientific.
It is
He
scientific.
said he was a nailer.
But a lot of people listen to the
It is
show.
adult information, guys.
Internationally.
When I do my talk, it's only adults only. I wouldn't do this with kids in the audience. I don't even do it with my own kids, and they're adults.
I don't want to ruin the experience of a parent who really loves doing this with their child right now being made deeply uncomfortable in a way that will make Ron Magill polarizing in ways we don't need him to be polarizing.
Please, thank you.
When we label the episode "A Pint of Ejaculate," I feel like
Oh,
it'll
come
be
on.
giving away
They'll
within
get
the
the
segment.
message.
Good
Yeah.
job.